See if this one's going to work. This little projector does not like me to. All right. Let's see if my voice will last today. I've had a head cold now for 6 days, thanks to my son. For those of you that don't know me or haven't figured out by now, I'm your professor, Scott. I like to have my classes be encouraging, fun, simplistic, but also at the same time it has a lot of academic rigor. Okay? You're going to do a lot, you're going to learn a lot. But at the same time you're going to have fun with it. I like to make practical application to the theory that you're learning. So don't be surprised if I put you in different groups and do different things during the class time. How many of you y'all all got my message about moving to online if you want to move to the online section? About half this class did. So I have 19 in my online and 13 in my physical class. So y'all are going to have a lot more fun than those that are online. Sorry, online students. I will record every session. I will put it out underneath the table of contents area so that you can actually go back and review everything that I said. So in case you don't catch it the first time, you can go back and review it. Okay? I try to keep my lectures short, sweet, to the points, and I only give you the information that I want you to know, the information that is necessary. 90% of these books are fluff. 10% of it is the knowledge that you need to know. Have y'all figured that out by now, right? As college students, you pay $150 for a book that you may learn 10% of. Well, in all my classes, I go through the complete book. Unless that book is for 2 different classes, then I split it down the middle. With that being said, it's fairly easy to do. I'm sorry I'm going to be yelling so they can hear what I'm saying. What we're going to do is briefly go over the syllabus today, give you an idea of what you're going to expect, answer any questions that y'all have about the syllabus and about what you can expect in this class. Okay? I guarantee you, you're not going to be overwhelmed with work. Thus, that's why you have chapter quiz, unit test, midterm, and a final. Now, the cool thing about me, and Daphne can tell you, she's had me before, and Tracy hasn't, she's had me in class, but not in the lecture class. My tests and my quizzes, they build upon each other. So the cool thing is, for each one of these 14 quizzes, you'll probably see 80% of those questions on that particular unit test that's associated with it. And 80% of that unit test you'll see on your midterm or your final. So you may see the same question 4 times. How easy is that? And all my tests are true, false, and multiple choice. I don't like long answer because I have to grade them. I don't like short answer because I have to grade them. I don't like fill in the blanks because I have to grade them. I know it sounds like I'm being lazy, right? But when you multiply that factor by about 200 students, you'll understand why I don't like grading short answers and long answers. I'd rather the test be graded immediately, you get your score immediately, so that when you walk out of my classroom on the final exam grade day, you know what you made on your final exam. Your final grade will already be calculated. As soon as everyone leaves, I post your grades. That's how I work. I don't like hanging around and having extra stuff. With that being said, I accept no late work. When these are due, they're due. You miss them, you miss them. You're all grown adults, right? I'm not going to hold your hand. I'm not your mom and I'm not your dad. But we can actually get these done fairly easily, fairly quickly, okay? Your hands-on projects consist of anywhere from 7 to 10 different hands-on projects. They should take you no more than an hour to do all of it into one document. Your chapter quiz should take you no more, there's 20 questions on each one of them. So that should take you no more than 20 minutes. if you've read the chapter. So in order to be successful in my class, read the chapter beforehand, come to class with questions. I'm not your traditional PowerPoint and I'm going to lecture you off and read the PowerPoint to you. You're not paying for me to read you PowerPoints. You're paying me to teach you so that you can learn. My philosophy is different than a lot of other instructors. I don't like reading PowerPoints to you. That's why I post them in the content area so you can go review them. Those are the instructor ones, so you should be able to download the PowerPoint, go and look at the notes and know exactly what that's talking about, where it's talking about in that chapter. Okay? Like I said, I want you to be successful. We have the 5 areas. We have the chapter quiz. You're going to have 14 of them because there's 14 chapters. You have 14 hands-on projects. There's 14 chapters. We have 7 unit tests. So that means approximately every 2 chapters you're going to have a unit test. Pretty simple. It's just like a quiz. So here's the hint. That unit test is due on the date and time that the second quiz is done. So if you miss a unit test or miss a quiz, is that really going to hurt you all that much? That's 0.2 points of your overall course grade. I wouldn't suggest missing 5. But if you have to miss one, it's not going to hurt you. You do not want to miss the midterm and you do not want to miss the final. Hands-on projects. They're 10 points apiece. So they're not weighted all that heavy. It's because some of the projects don't work in the book. Plain and simple. And I'll let you know in the news feeds exactly which ones I want you to do. If I say, there may be 8 in there, and I say, I want you to do all the odd ones, or do all the even ones. So you may not have all 7, 8, 10, whatever there are. Each chapter is different. Because I do go through and I do check and validate it, because some of them, like here in chapter 1, the Google Reader program doesn't work. So I don't want you to do that hands-on project. Simple enough. I already eliminated part of your homework. And we're 10 minutes into class. Okay. Going back to late work. If there's for any reason that you have to miss, and you know in advance, like if you're work at Tinker, or which probably none of you do because you'd already be there at Tinker, or if your work takes you to go do something, you'll know in advance, let me know in advance, and I'll work with you. If you let me know after it, I'm not going to help you at all because I don't accept late work. The only way I will extend it is if there's no physical way that you can do it. For example, if you have an appendicitis attack, that's uncontrollable. Am I going to count off on you because of that? No, because that was circumstances beyond your control. Because you'll have gone to the hospital, they will have operated, you will have a medical reason not to have done your homework. Okay? And that's what we're going to do as far as that goes. Now, one thing I want to bring up to you is, you notice you see all these little stars here? All these are bonus points. Every day you show, every week you show up to do the homework and stuff, that's 3 bonus points. How cool is that? Those add up. That, between all of these right here, that's 50 points. Well, it's 48. So that's a half percentage point over your overall course grade. That can make the difference between that D to the C to a B to an A, hopefully not an F to a D. Cyber Protect. This is going to be a little program y'all are going to actually have a lot of fun with. It's going to be an individual assignment. Daphne, you got to play with that last semester.
Oh, that website?
Uh-huh.
Oh, cool.
And it's going to be worth 10 bonus points. And what it is these 10 bonus points, you'll get a scale score of 0 to 100. I take 10% off of it, basically move 1 digit. And if you get an 89, you get 8.9 bonus points. Okay? What it is, it focuses on network security. How do you defend your network by using the principles of defense in depth, which we will discuss extensively in this class. All right. How many of you all would like to do an honors project for honors credit? Okay. I allow that to be done in my class, in all my classes. So if you have me in multiple classes, you can do it. It'll be very simple, and I'll discuss it with y'all offline of what we'll have. Because you have to meet with me so many times and then fill out an application for it and all that. But I'm on the honors committee, so I approve all mine anyway. So you have a chance to do it. Okay, that's pretty much what you're going to expect for grades. You have your hands-on projects, which are going to be your HOPs. Everyone's, what is HOP? I don't want to sit here and type out hands-on project, chapter 1, or chapter whatever, 16 times or 14 times. So I just shortened it. HOP chapter 1. It usually will take me 2 days after it's due and your grade is in for that. So I would highly suggest that y'all get them in on time, because I don't like wasting time to grade. That's why most of these are quizzes and they automatically score it for you. And then your participation. All right, is there any questions that y'all have of me before I really start introducing myself? And I just want to kind of give you an overview of the syllabus before we start talking who's who. Is it too early in the morning to ask questions?
Probably.
Not awake yet?
I see in the book there's a lot of stuff to download. Have you been able to verify that too?
Okay, the stuff to download? Yes, thank you. Send me a D2L reminder real quick, because I need to upload those for you.
Okay.
I'm going to have network policies for y'all to read and go over so that you can look at all the types of different policies that are out there. That's going to help you when you get into ESM and you get into Principles of Information Assurance. You can get into a lot of Prof. Dewey's class, Miss Dewey. So that you can actually learn from those. If you were in my ISA class, you're going to have a lot of fun because you're going to develop your own security policy in it this semester. However, ISA and ESM are merging. So after this semester, it'll be ISM. And that's one less class I get to teach. That's okay, I'll pick something else up. Yes, ma'am.
Like if we wanted to get our security plus at the end,
Uh-huh.
how will we best tie this classroom stuff into the actual test?
Okay, I believe it's Appendix B. Will tell you exactly what chapters cover what sections on the Security Plus. It's in there somewhere in the appendix.
A.
Oh, is it A? And that tells you where the maps are. We're going to cover it extensively, so by the time you leave here, you should pass the Security Plus. And I say that with the asterisks, you need to spend 40 additional hours of self-prep. Now that means you can read another book, whatever. To go, there's a lot of sites that say Security Plus practice questions. You can go in there and do those.
Will any of your questions be similar to
Oh, yeah.
those questions?
Mm-hmm. Except the long answers and short answers that you won't get. I'll ask you long answers and short answer questions in class, and so we can discuss them. My idea of teaching is not as much of a lecture base as it is an open discussion. That's why I require that you have the chapter read before you come to class. That's why I'm not going to lecture on chapter 1 until Monday. Make sense? So just think, every Monday you come to class, you need to have that next chapter read, with the exception of spring break. Because I'm not going to be here, and I'm sure y'all aren't going to be here either, right? All right. The chapters vary in length and vary in discussion. You have your book with you? Or you
It's just a PDF.
I'm going to look through it real quick. Introduction to Security. That's where we're going to talk about the 30,000-foot view. And then we'll break it down for each of the subchapters. and it'll be fun and exciting. How many of y'all are familiar with the term defense in depth? None of you? You have never heard of that? Okay. Well, we'll be discussing that on Monday, and I'll show you how it works. All right? Basically, in theory, all it is how many layers or how many obstacles of network security devices, policies, procedures, anything in the network security realm are you putting between you, your data, and an intruder? Are you putting IPS, IDS, firewall, servers, policies, procedures, acceptable use policies, firewall policies, WAP policies, how many devices, physical security, logical security? What all are you putting in between that data and an intruder? The more layers, the more secure. How many of you have heard the adage, or they talked about how they hide or keep secure the Coca-Cola recipe? Or in generic terms, how many of you have heard of how to secure a computer? You unplug it from everything, you stick it in a safe and have 2 security guards on the outside of the safe, inside of a building that's locked and encompassed. You know, that's how you secure a computer. The problem with that, that's defense in depth. You've now put 3 layers of security between that computer and whoever will attack it. That's essentially what defense in depth is. Now, there are 7 kinds of layers of this approach, and we'll discuss all those. And that's going to be your foundation. If you always think of security in how am I going to protect my data from the inside out? What is the first step of data protection? Just think, what would you want to do if you had a document that you consider top secret? What would be the first thing you could do to that data to protect it? Encryption. Then what? What would be the next step? You've encrypted it. Do what?
Put it in a den. Put it on a disk, stick it in a safe. That barbed wire that fits around the safe.
What kind of safe? Just a regular fireproof box? Are you talking one that if you shoot it with a shotgun, those pellets are coming back and bouncing onto you? Okay. What kind of safe? How much are you willing to? How much value is that data to you to protect it? Think about it. How many of you have kids? Nieces, nephews, real close relatives, a spouse, significant other, that you would want to protect with your life, right? You're going to put every possible means between the person that's trying to attack that other person and then the person themselves. You're going to put yourself in front of it, right? You're going to take that bullet for them. That's a layered security approach. So if you see how I will do my analogies, I will try to put it to where you can understand the theory and the approaches. So I want to be able to extensively discuss these rather than lecture you on it. Because I don't want to put you to sleep. It's already 9:30 in the morning, right? Worst thing you want to see is a PowerPoint and someone talking about like this at monotone like next door. Bueller's, yes. I don't even remember the principal's name, but how many of y'all remember Ferris Bueller, right? Okay. Anyone else have any other questions? Generic in nature, specific in nature? Anything you want to ask me about what? All right. Well, for those of you that have never met me, I have been working in the field for 12 years. I do my own consulting work. Matter of fact, Tracy got to do one of my intern projects over the interim semester. And one of her classmates decided to put a hole in the wall. Okay, you know, the little stickers on the ladders that says don't step above this, and the ladder came out from underneath it. You know, feel sorry for him because he went through the wall.
Not completely through it.
Yeah,
Just made
well,
a very large impression.
16-inch wide impression because he went from beam to beam. But yeah, we can make fun of it and lighten of it, but it goes to show that I try to bring my real world experience into the classroom for you so that you can have that practical application and understanding of what kind of scenarios would we really have. I can tell you tons of stories of network security vulnerabilities that we've had. Another project that I'm working on is up in Tulsa. And when I did their audit, out of 107 controls, they passed 4. That's 103 controls I have to fix. Fun. But Daphne's seen the pictures of them.
Oh, it was more than that. It was much more than a list you could check off. It was a lot.
But I want y'all to be sure to understand that this class is here for you. I want you to be able to ask me questions. How many of you realize you're paying $120 a night to be in this class? Grand scheme of things, on average, $120, a week. When you throw in all your fees, your books, everything's about $120. So $50 a session. You want your $50 a session, right? With that being said, one of my pet peeves is over-talking me. If you over-talk me or you're talking to this person sitting next to you or around you, I'm going to stop and I'm going to listen to you because obviously you have something more important to say than I do. So I'm just giving you that warning. But it also gives you the ability to ask questions. That's what I do it for. So it has a twofold. I'm not here to embarrass you. I'm here to ensure that everyone gets a fair shot at understanding the material. And that not one person encompasses everything. Alright? Like I said, I've been in the field for 12 years. You will hear me using my analogies a lot about my 3.5-year-old. My son is my life, along with my wife. He is my mini-me. Literally, my mini-me. I enjoy picking fun of him when he's not around. So, I'll use stories and everything. I mean, just 2 days ago, he helped my wife reformat her computer and put Windows 8.1 on. He's 3.5 years old. He said, "Click this, Mama, click this." And he was right with what he was saying to click. Can he read it? Absolutely not. Does he know what he's doing? Absolutely not.
You don't think you can read it?
I don't think he can read it. He just knows, go here, go here, go here so I can play my game. That's what he's trying to say. He sees the arrow going this way. He's like, okay, go this way.
Yeah.
Okay, but at 3.5, he's already installed an operating system. I thought it was kind of cool. He is my mini-me. He's learning real young. I like to have fun, sit back, enjoy my class. I'll pick on you to an extent. I'm not going to overly pick on you to where you feel bad. Okay? I'm not going to say, "Oh, I'm having a wild hair day," like Matthew. You know, I'm not going to do something to that extent. That's Matthew's style. He likes his hair. That's fine.
I don't like my hair, but
Oh, okay. Fine, then there's an object that I can pick on you about. No, I say that in jokingly manner. Is me and my infinite wisdom, I let my hair air dry. So 5 minutes after I took my shower yesterday, I decided to put my beanie on my head because it was bitterly cold. I get to work and pull off my hat and my hair's going in every different direction. It was like that the rest of the day. So I said I had a bad hair day yesterday. So I'll make fun of myself in light of humor of other things. But my goal is to challenge you to be smarter when you leave my classroom than when you came in. One thing that I challenge all my students to do is to learn one new thing every class night. If you learn one new thing in every section of every one of my classes, or every class, make your goal for that hour is to learn one new thing that you didn't know. Think about that. We have 32 class sessions. That's 32 new things. You think that $300 fee for the class or whatever it is, is worth it? Is it not worth the time? I would think so. If I learned 32 new things about network security that I'm going to be able to apply in the field, you bet you I'm going to be there to learn it. I don't want to go and sit and listen to a guy that's talking about things that are, I don't want to say below my level, but, things that I already know. That's why I don't read PowerPoints to you. Because y'all are all grown adults. You had to have passed literacy to get into here anyway. So I'm sure you can all read. So there's no sense in reading PowerPoints. That's why we discuss. So we can have an academic discussion. Maybe Kristen says, oh, here is the way that I want this done. I think network security ought to be this way, or a specific topic. Like, oh, the difference between a worm and a virus is this. And Tracy says, no, it's this. Well, we can have that argument because there are some viruses that kind of blend that, make it a gray area. And we're going to start talking about some of the different viruses, like the Stuxnet virus. How many of y'all are familiar with that? Stuxnet? Oh, that is one of the newest.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Um,
It's in the thing.
Actually,
Kind of bad.
it's a very bad cyber virus. Not your typical, I'm just going to screw with you and make you have to pay $60 for me to, the antivirus program ones. This is one that takes down your networks, zombies every other computer in your network, and then keeps you zombie. I mean, it's a mess. And it will prevent you from getting your data. Then they have the new one. What is the name of it? But basically what it does is it encrypts your file system. I forget the name of it. But you have to pay. And then they only change the date for 1 year, so you have to pay for it next year. Or 6 months. If you get the antivirus XPs or whatever, you want to go out to the registries and clean those out. You don't want to keep them on your system. Because if you start paying them, then you're gullible and they're going to start nailing you. Because then they have your IP, they get all your information. Why not? We'll talk a little bit about the Target scandal in this class that just happened. How many of you are familiar with 2 days ago that a male and female got arrested for the use of the credit card information? What they did is they went and got the prepaid visas and just took them off the counter and then used a magnetic stripe reader, changed the striping on it to the account information from people that they took, and they got caught at some retail stores, and they went through like 6 cards before one actually went through, and so they called the local police department. They came and the person had over 100 cards on the body, and each one had different numbers, and the magnetic strip number did not match the actual imprinted number or the name on the card, and so then they realized that it had matched up with the target data that was stolen by the Eastern European companies, or this Eastern European group. And what they're doing is this Eastern European group, because data is time sensitive when it comes to financial stuff. Because as soon as most people heard about it, the banks already started reissuing new cards to people, closing that card out. Some banks that didn't left those members vulnerable. And these 2 people were able to charge up over $15,000 on a couple of those cards for electronics. So the time is getting less and less for them to be able to go and use this information. And so that's what we're going to talk about. How does it work? Y'all have any other questions for me?
So you did say on the hands-on project, don't do the first one, but just do the second.
Yeah, start with the second and keep going. Unless I send in a news feed. If I have any changes, I'll put it out in the news feed for you. And so y'all get that.
And do you want it typed up like just a Word doc?
The way I want the hands-on projects is pretty simple. If it asks you a question, just answer the question.
Okay.
If it just says go view something, just write me a number and say, okay, I went to view this.
We do typically do all of the hands-on projects.
Typically, yes. Unless I find one that I don't want you to do or whatever, then I'll put it out in the newsfeed for you not to do it. Simple enough? Do y'all have any questions for me? Going once?
One little question.
Sure.
I was looking at you have your Security Plus, right?
I had it. I let it lapse, but yes.
Okay, but you have had it.
Yes.
I can't find anything on here about scheduling, or like, do they have specific test dates, or do you just find
No,
out
you
to
go-
schedule it with somebody?
You go through, I forget whether it's Pearson or Prometric. Or is it, what?
It's Pearson.
It is Pearson View? Okay. You'll go through Pearson View's website, and then they have certain testing area or testing centers, like Moore Norman Technology Center, Francis Tuttle Technology Center. You schedule it through Pearson View. They send that information there, and then you just go to that place at that date and time, and then you take your test. Pearson View is the name of the company that all these different types of tests say, okay, we'll host your test and validate that the people are really making the grade they said they're going to make, and then they send it on to the company.
They're like proctors.
Yes, that's all they are. But yet they have the physical proctors at the different locations that watch for this. And we're working on trying to get one here. So it'll be a lot easier for y'all to go test. So when that happens, I don't know. I know Ken was working on it at one point.
So if we pass our Network Plus by the end of the semester, do we automatically?
You mean the Security Plus? This is a Security Plus class.
Security Plus, sorry. We automatically get an A.
Yes, I'll give you an automatic A.
Okay.
If you can pass the Security Plus, you've actually met the minimum requirements of this class and then some. So I will give you the A. No questions asked. You won't ever have to show up again. You can just. So I mean, if you go take it tomorrow and pass it and bring it and show me, we'll write it off.
Why would I even need this degree at that point?
Do what?
Why would I even need like a cybersecurity degree at that point? If I
Why?
can pass it? Yeah.
This is just one certification.
Well, that would be one. The Security Plus is a very low level. You still have CISSP, which is way above that. Which is, I say that, but let me preface it. Security Plus is more of a technical, in-depth type test, where CISSP is more broad. It talks about security policies. It talks about security. It talks about networking. It's more of a broad-based test and not as technical. So if you have both of those, they consider you a security expert. Well, then if you get a PhD in the field as well, so. Any other questions? Y'all all look so tired this morning. But the good thing is you don't get to see my ugly face until Monday. Makes it
Or
nice,
later
right?
Today.
Do what?
Or later today.
Oh, in your case, man. How many of y'all have me for multiple classes today? Well, I get to see most of you again. Y'all get to hear the same spiel again and again. No, I changed it up for every class. All right. Well, that being said, yes.
To be absolutely clear, for before Monday, we need to do projects 1-2 through 1-4.
And chapter 1 and
Chapter 1.
You, I believe you have until
Wednesday.
whenever January 29th is.
would it be more to our benefit to have the hands-on projects done by that?
You have until next Wednesday night to get them done at 11:59. Everything's due at 11:59 in the evening.
But all you really want is us to have read the chapter.
I want you on Monday to have read chapter 1, so we can discuss it, and then on Mondays we'll do the discussion, and on Wednesdays you'll have time to do some of your hands-on projects if you haven't already, and that'll be where I start giving you illustrations, like we'll do group type stuff, to where you can implement and understand the different aspects of it. Now, if you want more information, if you look in the table of contents, I have videos for each chapter. They're about an hour long. That's from the guy that wrote the book and his team. They put it out there basically discussing the chapter. It's not a requirement to go view those, but if you want more information, you can. All right. Like I said, I'm only going to teach you exactly what you need to know. No other questions? Alrighty then. We will see y'all later.